2, 1, go.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to On the Rise. I'm your host, Mike Feinberg. With me, as always, my co-host, David Shore. Background over here, we got Armando Gonzalez, Gerardo Ramos. Coming here from downtown Lake Worth at the Bamboo Room. It's fight week, everyone. This is the week. As promised, December 12th, 2020, right outside here, right outside these doors, we're going to be doing a live fight. Cage is going to be set up in a couple of days. Weigh-ins are going to be on Friday. This is our last show before the weigh-ins. Look, we waited a long time for this. It's finally here, right? We got Team MMA finale. We're going to be giving away some of those great belts. Hopefully you guys had the chance to look at it. We had it on the show last week. I think Armando may have one again. We may bring it back out to show you once again. Look, those belts have been given out. We're going to get some champions here just within a few days. This is exciting stuff. Finally. David, we're here. We got, a dozen fights in front of us right now. A bunch of prelims, some great fighters on that card. You got a bunch of guys that are going to be going pro. This is their last hurrah. Last time you'll see them as an amateur before you start paying these guys to be in the UFC.
Yeah, it's crazy. Super excited. Yeah, I heard you're going to jump on the fights and steal that belt.
That's right. I mean, hey, I took to social media about that, man. I had a belt. I don't want to give it back.
Well, I'm going to be rooting for you, Mike, the whole way. Yeah, I'm super excited. These guys are ready. David Bell's all set to go. I talked to a bunch of guys. I've been watching everyone train. I talked to La Rosa. I talked to John Lopez. I talked to all majority of the fighters. We get guys coming from Hawaii all over the place to fight. So I'm super pumped up. I can't wait. It's going to be sick. It's a super nice venue. I'm excited. The weather's perfect. I mean, hopefully if it's not too cold, I might have some heaters on my feet or something. But I think it's going to be just nice. I can't wait, truthfully. A lot of different weight classes it's going to be fighting. It's going to be action-packed. I'm expecting knockouts, submissions, everything. I told all my friends it's local, it's exciting, so I can't wait for it for sure.
Yeah, as you said, I mean, lots of different fights, all different weight classes. Got about a dozen fights here, anywhere from bantam to super heavyweight. I mean, you got these little guys and these big guys and everything in between. So, I mean, you're going to expect to see a lot of talent. Some of these guys have their state wrestling champions that are fighting here in our card. We got other guys that are just knockout artists. If you didn't catch our first event, I don't know why you didn't, because you can watch it for free on our app right now, and you can see guys like Justin Starks with this devastating knockout. Some of these guys have beautiful power. They're training with some of UFC's best right now at the local gyms. It's amazing to see what these guys can bring to the table. I almost wouldn't think that most of this is going to be an amateur bout. It's going to look like a UFC bout.
Right, exactly. And chances are at least a couple of these guys might go to the UFC and take belts or something crazy, because I know these guys are training hard and it's one of their last pro fights, or last amateur fights before they go pro. Like Justin Starks, I believe, is going to be going pro. David Bell's going pro. A lot of good guys that are coming out here to bring all their whole game. So it should be wild for sure.
Yeah, looking forward to that. Again, guys, December 12th, this Saturday. Doors open at 6:30. First fight is going to be at 7:30. If you haven't bought your tickets yet, you can get them right there through that app we talk about every 5 seconds.
Right.
It's RIZE FC, R-I-Z-E space FC, Fighting Championship. You can get it through iOS. You can get it through Android. Just download it. Buy the tickets right there. You can also watch some of the individual fights from our last card. You can watch the entire edited version of the fight card last time. They edited it down to you for, I think, about an hour and 12 minutes, hour and something like that. So you can actually watch the entire action right there without having to stop and fast forward through every little bit and piece.
Sure.
So, I mean, exciting stuff. Take a look at that. Go ahead and buy tickets. Again, we don't have many left. We have limited capacity, of course, seating. We're trying to be as safe as we possibly can, which is why we're doing it outside. Seats are very, very spaced out with the social distancing. So we're probably at about, 80% sold out, somewhere around that nature, I think. So there's not much left for you guys, just a few more days to buy those tickets. Again, we will have another show on Friday for the weigh-in. I don't quite have an exact time on that one yet. We'll probably get that for you by the end of the show. You can watch again exactly how you're watching, watch that weigh-in event, and you'll know exactly who you're going to be expecting to see on fight night coming up. And as far as the weather, as you mentioned, so yeah, I think last night was about 40 degrees, something like that.
Too cold for me.
It's starting to warm up a little bit, and actually I looked at the weather report. Apparently it says by Saturday night it's supposed to be back into like the low 70s again.
Right.
It's going to be a beautiful night.
Oh yeah.
It's also going to be kind of partly cloudy, prevent some of that wind from blowing around. I think it's going to be a comfortable night out there.
The venue's really neat. We got upper seating, we have lower seating. It's going to be right in the middle so everyone can see what's going on. I heard there's going to be some food trucks or some kind of food out there. So obviously drinks and everything else. So it should be super neat, and I can't wait.
Yeah, we had some of the fighters, as guests here over the last few weeks. We've brought that to you. Hopefully you've caught some of those interviews. We got guys coming all the way from Hawaii, coming out here, a pair of guys actually coming out here to fight that way.
Yeah, they're a little crazy, so it should be good to see them in the ring. I've been watching all their Instagram posts and catch wrestling, and they're going to defried jiu-jitsu and show catch wrestling's the real deal. And, I believe him. Jason Bray just seems like he's the real deal. I can't wait to meet him in person and get to know him. And La Rosa is extremely pumped up, and he's spewing all kinds of statements. So I can't wait to see what he has to say. And I give him a lot of credit, as I've mentioned in the last fight. Anyone that fights John Lopez, I'm calling him John the Tank Lopez. I got to make sure it's okay with him. But, yeah, that guy's a humongous man, and I want to see, La Rosa seems like he has no fear whatsoever of him, which, it's pretty crazy. If I was walking down a dark hallway and I got stuck with him, I'd definitely be a little nervous. So yeah, I can't wait to see their fight. I think they're going to be like the main prelim event now, and it's one of my favorite fights on the card. But yeah, we got a bunch of action-packed fights. I know George Molina is happy to avenge his loss. I know you got David Bell, who's been training like crazy. He looks even crazier than the last time I saw him. So it looks like he's been training pretty adamantly, and. Yeah. Oh, man, I'm super excited. I can't even wait to weigh-ins. Hopefully, we're not going to need security for the weigh-ins, but it should be pretty neat to catch it firsthand, I
mean, it was interesting last time around. The weigh-ins showed us a lot, things we didn't expect to see. Some of the guys we really hadn't met in person, right. Just been interviewing, if even that. And you saw some of these guys and just how prepped and ready they were as they came in for a weigh-in, and especially somebody like Justin Starks who walked in, who just kept catching my eye throughout the entire time he was there at the weigh-ins. Right. He just looked like a beast. I mean, he looked like he was just, in perfect shape and ready to go.
Yeah.
There were other guys that looked like they just, didn't even try. They weren't even prepared in any way.
Right.
And you knew it was going to be an early night for them, and sure enough it was. I mean, some of these guys were gone, within a matter of seconds in the first round. So weigh-ins tell you a lot, a good opportunity for you to be able to catch exactly what you will see on Saturday night. Look, buy the tickets, come on out. It's going to be a great event. We're going to make it as safe as we possibly can for you. As I mentioned, for whatever reason you cannot come out and watch it, you can stream it. We're going to be watching, it's going to be aired on Roku, on Apple TV. We're going to have it on our app, so make sure you do download the app. You can see it there. Facebook, YouTube, several different ways that you actually are going to be able to watch these fights. It'll be the last fight event, of course, of 2020. 2021 brings with it a lot of good stuff. We're going to be getting into that, talking to you about that next week after these fights end. Our focus right now are on the fights of this week, of course. And, as far as these fights, we got, again, about a dozen of them. David, I mean, what jumps off the page at you? I know we talked about this before, but as we approach closer to fight night, what are you looking at?
Like I said, Justin Starks is a scary man. I walk around probably at 175, and then for him to get down to 155 and look like a tank that he is, I give credit to anyone who steps in the ring with him. So I'm sure, definitely you might have to pay me some good money to hop in the ring with him for sure. And same thing, like I said, David Bell, he was so disappointed about missing his last fight, and he had a lot to say about the George Molina and Richard Mael's fight. So he has over amount of confidence, and I can't wait to see him bring it all to the table.
Yeah.
He's a big dude in himself, weightlifting, and he's looking pretty jacked. So we'll see. But like I said, Jason Bray and La Rosa is one of my highlight points, because these guys are from Hawaii. They got all these camps. I seen La Rosa picture with Max Holloway, and I mean, they look like they're having some serious cardio training, inspiring me to work out almost every day just to watching these guys go at it. And then, like I said, Jason's all about the catch wrestling, which I'm a big wrestling fan, always have been. I did wrestling a little bit in high school, and, I think he's going to be interesting. And plus his opponent, Philip Jackson, is, like you said, the boxing legend and also training now. And I'm sure he has high expectations. And Philip Jackson seems like he had some very quick, very not too much to say. But then when he opened up his resume, what's going on in his life, this guy is an animal and just a pure athlete.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to be a lot more than we're even, we might be underestimating his qualities, because he seems like he's just keeping it all in the box, not exposing everything he has. So those are my favorite ones, truthfully. But everything's explosive. Brandon Carroll, obviously, Palm Beach. I still got my Palm Beach Punishers jersey at the house. I wear it out sometimes, you know. I wear it to volleyball to give me some extra confidence, but I still need some work. But yeah, I'm super pumped. It should be super exciting.
Yeah, and with the Team MMA events, all these fighters are between Palm Beach County and Miami-Dade. I mean, it's all here within the local area, so keep that in mind if you're going to come out here and watch these fights. These guys are all local guys. You know, we started out with Team MMA all over the state of Florida, you know, and through fights and results and, you know, certain things that came up, injuries, tests, all this kind of stuff, we ended up with every one of the fighters from Team MMA being local guys here in the Tri-County area. Right. So these are guys you may have already seen before. You may see again, maybe on one of our future cards. Take a look, see what they can do. Some of these guys, as we mentioned, they're going to go pro. So you're not going to be able to see them here again, and you will maybe see them in UFC one day. So definitely worth checking out to see what this raw talent can bring us. So that's Team MMA. Looking forward to that. Check us out on Friday for the weigh-ins. Now we're going to jump in just a couple other things, and we'll circle back. Still going to check and see if we have that belt back over here again. But while we look for that,
I think you stole it.
I probably did. It's probably in my car. I don't know. You know, I might have 2 or 3 actually.
The Grinch stole the Team MMA.
You know, and talking about UFC was mentioned a couple times. What's going on in the world of UFC right now, David?
Oh man, it was exciting. I enjoyed the main event. Marvin Vittori, the Italian stallion, whatever his name is, the Italian. I guess he's the first Italian guy to hit the top 5. He killed it versus Hermanson. He took the fight, I believe, on a week notice, and he showed his skills. He previously, I think he went the distance with Israel Adesanya, and that was his claim to fame. But you could tell he was just a hardworking guy that's been dedicated to his craft. And like I said, within a week notice, and came in and put that beating on Hermanson. That was the Joker. That was nasty. It was really nasty, and I think he's gonna come back and he might be able to give Izzy a run for his money eventually when he works up a little bit more of a resume, or if Izzy eventually makes the belt vacated, if Israel Adesanya ends up moving up to go chase John Jones at heavyweight, he could take the interim belt possibly, because that guy, you know, he's extremely dedicated, and you know, he's kind of funny too. I was watching a Hawani show about him giving Hawani a shout out, and he said he's his MVP for the year because he gave him a shout out live on the after fight. So I thought that was great. I like Hill versus St. Preux. That was a great fight. Hill's a nasty beast as well. He's a long, lengthy, just a whole bunch of just nasty shots were thrown. Couldn't believe it. He's everything and more. Great fight. That nasty slam with Jordan Levitt. One slam knockout. No punches involved. 22 seconds. Ended it. That guy, Matt Willman, I think is his name. He almost looked happy to be picked up, like he was getting carried, like his dad's carrying him across the ring. But then just one drop, hit his head, and unconscious. That was also pretty crazy. But you know, the UFC is heating up. It's the end of the year. A lot of cool fights popping up. I'm excited to watch it, so I'm gonna keep staying tuned and gambling on DraftKings. Couldn't tell you how much money I lost on it, but one day I'm gonna win. I'm gonna tell you guys about it. So it's gonna happen one day, sooner than later, for sure.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to you making some money, man.
I probably need to go to Gambling Anonymous, truthfully. I don't know what's going to happen first, either the money or the Gambling Anonymous, but we'll see. I'll let you know when I win.
Well, you know, I got to go to a couple events last week, which is rare because, you know, I don't ever go to these events lately, but I did go to a couple last week. G came with me as well. Went to a bare knuckle event, BYB. I know I mentioned it last week. It was out in the Hard Rock. It was no fans allowed. We just got a special invite. We were able to go out there and take a look at it. This is BYB, the Backyard Brawls, Dada 5000, the guy who originally started the Backyard Brawls with Kimbo Slice. You know, he's doing his BYB events. They're exclusively at the Hard Rock, hoping next year he's going to have some fans. So he put on this event. It's the second event that he had out there at the Hard Rock. He had one back in March before the pandemic with fans. This one, of course, without. Kind of got a bird's eye view up in a little VIP lounge, kind of taking a look at it from a distance, which was nice. It was comfortable, and it was away from everybody else that was around the fight. Look, it was a pretty nice event. And I got to tell you, it started out that 6 of the fighters had tested positive for coronavirus the day of the event.
Wow.
The day of the event. Wow. They all were negative. The day before when they tested him, they had this whole fight card. And day of event, they had to rearrange the entire fight card.
Wow.
So they had to scramble and try to get these things done. Some fighters didn't think they were coming on for a certain time. They weren't planning on arriving until a certain time. So they had to deal with a time factor. But luckily, because what they did is obviously they were recording the fight and they're editing it, getting it prepared for the viewers, ability to watch it for this Saturday. So it is going to be on Fight TV this Saturday. I think they put together probably a pretty good card. I think when you look back at it on Fight TV, you're going to see a pretty stacked card, and I think you'll enjoy what you see. So I can't give away the ending and what exactly happened during the fights. We were told not to say anything, but they are exciting fights. Some great knockouts, of course. You're going to see knockouts in that thing. Look, they're fighting in a trigon, David.
I heard about that.
So you're fighting in a trigon. You got this, isosceles triangle, I guess is what it is. So you've got basically a 90-degree angle on one end. If the guy gets cornered into that part of the triangle,
You're going to fight your way out.
yeah, but he can find his way to kind of swing left and right. But if he's caught in the left or right angles, the 45-degree angles,
sure.
there's no room.
Wow.
All you can do is punch your way out.
Right.
You're either going to get knocked out or you're going to have to punch your way out.
Wow.
So it pushes these guys to have to, be more active.
Sure.
They have to fight. So that's why they own the knockouts. It's a pretty clever method of what Dada put together. So it was exciting. Exactly what you expected to see is what you will end up seeing. And I think everybody's going to enjoy the card if they take a look at it on Saturday on Fight TV. Beyond that, boxing. We went to a boxing event, beautiful black tie event down at the Intercontinental Hotel in Miami. And this was Revolta Boxing, made its debut. A friend of mine named Henry Revolta, he's a boxing promoter, manager, and a huge fight fan and just a boxing connoisseur all in all. And this gentleman, he put on a black tie event. It was sort of a VIP event. Everybody came out. There's a red carpet involved. Some celebrities popped up. A couple of Miami Heat players were there. There was a linebacker from the Cleveland Browns. I can't quite remember his name. He was also in attendance, as well as some famous boxers and some MMA fighters. Great event. It's something he's going to do again this February. There were, I would say, probably about 150 to 200 people in attendance, and that was probably if they maxed that out at that. And there was enough space to be able to do that comfortably.
Right.
A lot of them were VIP tables, bottle
live?
service. It was live, yeah. They aired it on something called BN TV. But the commentators that they had with them was really something because they had like the A-team of Showbox on Showtime Boxing. Those guys, Barry Tompkins and Raul Marquez and Claudia Trejo, those guys. Those are the ones that were actually there, and there were a lot of TV cameras there, a lot of news cameras there, a lot of media in attendance. It went off with a bang. So for sure, back in February when he's going to have his next event, it's gonna hit. They're all going to be happy about that. This past weekend was the Errol Spence and Garcia fight, Danny Garcia fight. Spence overtook Garcia. Garcia showed some promise throughout the fight, but Spence did what he had to do. He ended the fight exactly how it should have been. Won a decision. He did a lot more damage. And the injury and the layoff that he had, if you remember, his Lamborghini flipped over like 5,000 times last year. He actually was doing all right. We thought there'd be some cobwebs, but he felt fine. Terrence Crawford sitting there ringside, just kind of salivating at the idea that they can fight. Still don't know what's going to happen with Top Rank. He's probably going to get out of his contract to have that fight, but we're all waiting to see that fight happen. The best fight that could be made at welterweight right now, possibly the best fight in boxing that could be made. Jamar Charlo was actually in attendance as well, and he was sitting intently ringside watching Sebastian Fundora. If you don't know this guy, Fundora, they call him the Towering Inferno. He's 6'6", he's 154 pounds.
Wow.
All right. He's got an 80-inch reach.
Yeah.
So for his weight class, obviously, he's got the reach, and he's learned to use it as he's progressed. And it was pretty impressive what he was able to do to keep this guy at bay.
Does he only eat soup or something? Oh my God.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
150 pounds, 6'6", that's wild.
I mean, it was really, really something to see him in action and see him just do some damage with this guy. But he came back and he ended up getting his knockout. He'll be moving on, possibly for title contention, maybe against Jamal Charlo, which is why he was there. Joe Smith Jr. was just announced that he's going to be fighting Maxim Vlasov in February. That's going to be for the WBC Light Heavyweight Championship of the World. Interesting about that is that Sullivan Barrera beat Joe Smith Jr. Barrera is supposed to be fighting Kovalev. Kovalev, of course, who just had the WBO, who got beaten by Canelo, who just vacated the belt, which is why Joe Smith is fighting. It's a vicious cycle. Okay, but right now you've got Joe Smith Jr. and Vlasov fighting each other. for the belt, assuming Joe Smith actually wins that fight. If Barrera and Kovalev comes to fruition, whoever wins that belt should fight Joe Smith. Now you got a real big contender once again at light heavyweight. So some crazy things going on right now in boxing, but they're finally putting the right fights together. And
speaking of right fights, right? And was there a big announcement the other day?
That's right. Yep. Just going to actually talk about that one. There was a big announcement the other day. You know, about 3 months ago, there was a guy that mentioned something about this Logan Paul Floyd Mayweather fight.
Was there?
Yeah, some guy. I don't remember quite who that guy was. And you know, a lot of people are questioning what was going on. What are you talking about? This isn't true. This can't happen. Blah 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 blah. Hate all you want, but it's come to fruition. It's actually there. Look at Mayweather's page. Mayweather's now on social media talking about that fight. It has been said it is on February 20th. So Floyd Mayweather is coming out of retirement. He is fighting Logan Paul on February 20th. It is an exhibition match. They're considering a super exhibition match is what they say.
Wow.
And we'll see how that goes. I know there's a lot of people calling out to be on the undercard of that fight. They want to get some, you know, money too, get their hand in the cookie jar, so to speak. So we'll see how that one goes. That's going to be a good one. And Joshua and Pulev, the heavyweight championship of the world for 3 of those 4 main belts, is coming up on December 12th. Interestingly enough, there's something else on December 12th, isn't there?
I believe there is.
I think RIZE, is it?
Oh, man.
RIZE?
I can't wait. I think I'll be busy with RIZE. Nothing else matters.
But the good thing about them, let me tell you, they're fighting at Wembley Stadium in the UK, and that means they're 5 hours ahead of us, which means their fight card starts at 2 o'clock, ours starts at 7:30. So feel free to watch that card. Just make sure you make it to us, you know, by about 6:30, 7 o'clock.
For sure.
So you may just miss the end of that main bout if you start traveling over to our event. But you know what? That's what the phones are for.
Exactly.
You can download the zone and check that out. But that's the heavyweight championship of the world. Do not underestimate Pulev. This guy may end up walking out with his hands raised up that day. So look out for that. Get that, prep that, get excited, get in fighting mode, and then come out and watch our fights. That's what you want to see.
For sure.
It's all about our fights.
Definitely.
Right. So David, tell me what's going on in the NFL.
Oh man, Dolphins took it again. We got the Dolphins versus the Bengals, and I felt like it was a RIZE fighting with these guys throwing hands so much. It was nasty. I enjoyed watching the Bengals get beat up physically and on the scoreboard, so that was nice. Unfortunately, the Bills won this past week, so we're still not above the Bills, but we're on the verge. We're rising, you know. I can't wait to see us a nice playoff berth, and we're going to take it, hopefully. I got my Miami Dolphin shirt under this shirt. I can break it out, but, you know, I don't want to get crazy. Super excited. But the Steelers lost too, so our undefeated record's still there. I was kind of nervous a little bit, but now I can stop hating on the Steelers, and they can do whatever they need to do. As long as they don't beat us in the playoff, we're good with that. But yeah, it's been pretty exciting. I've been enjoying all the games recently for sure.
It's been a little crazy with the scheduling, of course, with everything that went on. You know, with the Steelers-Ravens game kind of screwed up everybody else's schedule as it went on. So now you got games on Wednesdays. Now you got games on Tuesday. Tonight there's a game right now. The Ravens themselves are playing right now.
Yeah.
And, we'll see what they can do because they are trying to make a run at it and get a playoff spot themselves. So I think they're going to get there. I think they'll get that spot as well. And don't forget, now that they've expanded off the playoffs, they've got an extra team now that gets to get in.
Exactly.
So it's going to be interesting to see how that goes. And hopefully, I know even the Ravens today, Des Bryant was supposed to make his return and play against the Dallas Cowboys, but unfortunately tested positive today, like so many other players and Ravens had tested positive over the last week. So I don't know how that's going to pan out with everything and how Dez's future is going to be with Baltimore, but unfortunately he's inactive for tonight's game. So a lot of people were looking forward to seeing him play against his former team. Beyond that, Green Bay beat Philly 30-16. And the reason I bring that up is because we were talking last week about our buddy Carson Wentz. And how, what did I say? He had one more chance?
Yeah, he lost it.
He had one more chance.
The new starter, I forgot the guy's name.
Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, Hurts, exactly. He's going to be starting now. So
that's it, yeah. I mean, he had the opportunity. When they gave Wentz the opportunity, and they didn't have to do that. But he was the face of the franchise, and they figured, hey, let's give him another shot. He got in there. It was just horrible. He got sacked 4 times. He did absolutely nothing. 79 yards through the first half, plus 3 minutes into the second half. It was embarrassing. Jalen Hurts jumps in there, throws a TD. Yeah, he threw a pick. I mean, he's trying to warm up. He's getting there. He got sacked 3 times as well. You know what? He got in there. He got a spark going. He got the team going. They didn't win, but, I mean, they were so far behind they weren't going to have the opportunity. Okay. Curious to see what Jalen Hurts can do next week. If he plays like he's on fire, Carson Wentz, I don't know what they're going to do with him.
Yeah.
They owe them way too much money, man. They can't just let them go.
Yeah, no, I picked up all my defenses in fantasy against the Eagles, so I'm looking forward to that. Next week starts the playoffs for the fantasy football. I'm actually out of 2 or 3 leagues. I'm number 1 seed out of 2 of them. So hopefully I'm going to win some money. I'm looking forward to that. I got the teams to beat. I got Mahomes, I got Kelsey, I got all the good guys. McCaffrey's coming back next week on the Panthers. Super excited for that. So good luck, everybody, on your fantasy football playoffs for sure.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, it was interesting. I don't know if you caught this. We didn't talk about this before, so you probably didn't. I don't think the media even really caught this. So after KC won their game the other night, so it was a Sunday night game, and they earned that playoff spot, right? So afterwards, Travis Kelce was sort of the champion of the game, right? Their tight end. He gets on there. He's starting to give props at the end of the game against his opponent. He started talking about how the Raiders played them really, really hard the last couple of games. But what's interesting is that they weren't playing the Raiders. They played the Broncos.
Yeah.
But honestly, if you go back and look at the clip, he thanks the Raiders for playing as well as they are. Wow. That's just before Mahomes goes over there and pours the cold water on his back in the freezing cold temperatures.
Wow.
If you saw any of that on ESPN. But nobody mentioned the fact that he was talking about the wrong opponent.
That's
so,
hilarious.
Hey, I guess it slipped his mind. Hopefully it's not a concussion of any kind. But we'll just blame the cold weather in Missouri for that one.
The Raiders been doing well, though. That guy Waller, the tight end, has been balling out. He's definitely a force to be reckoned with. He got 37 points in fantasy this past week. It's super, super crazy. So, yeah, the Raiders are definitely playing good football for sure.
And we asked if, last week if Pittsburgh was for real with their undefeated record. But you saw them slow down last week, and obviously this past, yesterday, they didn't look so good.
Yeah.
They lost to Washington 23-17, and like you said, no longer an undefeated team. So it's interesting to see how, who might step in and step up.
Yeah, but Coach Tomlin's a serious coach, so I think that's what they need is a loss to fire them up, and then they might just take off from there. I think they got Watt, the defensive player, J.J. Watt's brother on the defense.
Yeah, T.J. Yeah.
T.J. exactly. Yeah. So their defense is fired. Their whole team's pretty good. The wide receivers, Claypool, Juju Schuster. Their whole team is really, really good. So I have a good feeling that this loss is going to, definitely drive them to play harder and try harder. So
right.
I wouldn't sleep on them still for sure.
Yeah, I don't doubt it. They're definitely better than more than half the teams that are going to be in the playoffs.
You look at the Patriots shut out. What team did they play? I can't recall, but they had a shutout.
45-0.
I know. Jeez Louise, that was embarrassing. So hopefully the Dolphins come and take the Patriots the next couple of weeks, and then we beat the Bills, and then we get the seed. So that's my hopes and dreams right there.
There it is. And then in college football, just to let you know, so the number 1 team in the country right now is University of Alabama, but what year aren't they the number 1 team? Anyway, they just won the SEC West, and Florida, my Florida Gators, just won the SEC East with their wins this past Saturday. So they will be meeting each other in a couple of weeks on December 19th in the SEC Championship game. Florida's been there a few times. Each of the last few times that they were there, they lost to Alabama. So the last time they have won one, it was 2008. It's the last time they won the SEC title. So it's going to be a battle just to see what they can do. Both these guys have Heisman hopefuls, and Mac Jones and Kyle Trask. We'll see who can come out successful. And look, it's really simple. Whoever wins that game is going to make it to the playoffs.
Right.
So you just count down at this point. They both got Saturday games. You got 4 games left. You win 4 games, you win everything. It's really just that simple. Mm-hmm. It's a numbers game at this point. Beyond that, that's the world of sports. Mm-hmm. Outside of what. I'm hearing about the Canes. The Canes had a blowout. I think I missed that, but yes.
So you, they did
but the U did well. I can't tell you too much about it. They played NC, didn't they? Didn't they play North Carolina?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're not even sure, but we know they had a good game. Before we circle back here to Team MMA one last time, we do want to make sure we thank our sponsors here today. So Deviate Motorsports, Doctor's Own CBD products, VIP Barbershop in West Palm Beach, Toast Vodka, and Palm Beach County Sports Commission, as well as Elite Skin and Beauty. We do thank each and every one of our sponsors. We'll be making announcements about them as well during the weigh-ins, announce them again during the fight. We do thank you very much for all of your support. And beyond that, look, again, guys, if you missed the top of the show, if you missed last week's show, or missed most of the things we've been saying on every show, download the app.
Oh man, or
RIZE
show up to
FC.
this fight. There's a few tickets left, and the fights are gonna be wild. So I highly recommend you guys to check it out for sure. It's a great venue. Everyone's super excited and trained for a long time for this. Other guys have been training for a long period. Like David Bell's been training for months and months, and like you said, it might be one of the last times these guys are fighting amateur fights, so it makes it that much more exciting.
Right, for sure. And hopefully we see you guys on Friday afternoon for the weigh-ins, or at least check us out for the weigh-ins on Friday night, I should say. And we'll be airing live on all platforms once again. And the much-anticipated Team MMA finale on Saturday. Doors open at 6:30, first fight at 7:30. Make sure you make it out. If you can't make it out, of course, all the opportunities for you to stream everything. You've got the opportunity to watch it on Apple TV, through Roku, YouTube, Facebook, our app, RIZE FC. And you should see us going live somewhere right about 7:30. Again, outside venue, temperature dropped to the 40s last night. It's going to be warming up to about 70s on Saturday. So once again, beautiful weather to come back out again. And beyond that, we look forward to seeing everybody.
Yeah,
we look forward to the event.
See you guys at weigh-ins.
And we'll see you guys at that time. Thanks again to our sponsors. Thanks again to Armando Gonzalez, Gerardo Ramos, my partner, David Shore, and myself, Mike Feinberg. Have a good night. Stay safe.